Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call this regular meeting of the Yuma Union High School District Number 70 Governing Board to order. So nice to see everybody's faces. If you would all please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. Carlos, would you mind leading it? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Carlos. Moving on to item number 2, reports. Board members may have a discussion about conferences, visitations, legislation, special recognition, donations, etc. Does anybody on the dais have something? Christy.
I just want to welcome everybody back to the new school year. Welcome to the freshman class. Welcome to all the new teachers. We attended the first day of the new teacher orientation, lots of new faces, lots of good energy in the room. Welcome to the district.
Thank you.
I just also want to say welcome.
Thank you.
Back.
There you go. Yes, welcome back and excited for another amazing school year at the Yuma Union High School District and 26-27. That's crazy. So welcome back and welcome freshmen and new teachers.
Right. I'm going to piggyback on that. I also got a chance to check out the new teacher is orientation that happened at the beginning of the end of July. And I really wanted to say thank you so much to the district for doing such a great job of organizing it. I remember back when I was a first-year teacher, it's petrifying going into a classroom. So I think you guys did a great job of helping them collaborate and feel welcome. So thank you for allowing us to come in. I also wanted to say that the finance department, you guys amaze me. I mean, every time I read an article about other districts like LA and all these other districts that are not doing such great fiscally responsible items, it makes me even prouder of our finance department and the two of the people that are sitting right here that we hear from all the time. So thank you. And congratulations to Somerton High School for being a full school, right? We have all 4 classes this year, so woohoo. So welcome back, everybody. Thank you, thank you. Okay.
Well, I just want to say welcome also.
I apologize, David.
No, that's all right. Okay. Welcome, and for the non-English speakers, bienvenidos. I know everybody speaks English, but welcome back.
Okay. Item 2. Let's move on to the superintendent report. Tim.
Okay. I'll be sticking in with English. But I do appreciate the bilingualism. This time of year is great because we have everyone back, staff, students, energy levels high, full house in here today. I don't see any nervous faces necessarily unless they're giving a speech, and some of them are. So this time of year, we like to introduce the community to our administration on the campuses, and that's the principal, assistant principals, and director of student supports. We tried last year to do it alphabetically. I don't know why people are laughing.
I'm pretty sure
Mr. Pavey. But this year we're going to do it in the order that the school came on board in Arizona. So we are going to start with the principal of Yuma High School, Marcy Sanchez. So they were asked to create a slide, one slide. Just for the record, I asked for one slide. And some of them use artistic license, which is good because I do appreciate the fine arts, and they maybe went with 3 or 4 slides. However, their task was to introduce themselves and their team, and then whoever's new to the team gets to say a little something about themselves. So, Marcy.
So that picture, I think we have maybe 20 of them. We were trying to emulate the Beatles, the Abbey Road, so in front of the gate. But welcome. I am so excited to be up here introducing our team at Yuma High. So some similar faces, same faces, new positions. I now moved from academics to principal role this year, so it's been an exciting month, and we're off to a good start, so it's great. Mr. Anderson is still in the same role with athletics, dependable Mr. Anderson. And then our DOS, Mr. Sanchez, moved from DOS to assistant principal overseeing activities. And Ms. Lopez, who was overseeing activities, is now the assistant principal overseeing academics. So introducing the new member of our team, still a familiar face on our campus, but a new role, is Dr. Lima Tynan. She was our instructional leader for ESS, special education, and then also psychologists in our district. So please welcome Dr. L.
Hello. Thank you for having me tonight, and I'm very excited to be the Director of Student Support. I have been in the district since 2011 when I had the opportunity to be an intern as a school psychologist. And I've been here ever since. I've been in different schools as a school psychologist, and I really enjoy working with my new team, and I appreciate that opportunity. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome.
All right, thank you, Yuma High. Up next will be the Kofa Kings. Yes, we can clap for them too.
Thank you. Before I get started, and hi everybody. I was actually having a funny conversation with my StuCo advisor yesterday, who was a Yuma High grad, but is our StuCo advisor at Kofa, and she said something along the lines of the Yuma Kofa game, and I said, hold on. It's alphabetical order. It's Kofa Yuma game. Wanted to let you know, Marcy, we're there. So, I'm excited to be back here, second year as a principal at Kofa. In just a little bit, I'm going to introduce my team. Let's see if I can get there. We did ours. We didn't do the Beatles theme, but we do have our castle behind us. One new face. We still have Miss Pacewick. Miss Amber Pacewick is our Director of Student Support. Leanne McCall was an assistant principal over athletics last year. She slid over to activities. And Alba Madriegos is still in her current role with academics. But our new face this year is Mr. Jeffrey Frazine. And I do want to talk about him just a quick little brief. Before my time in administration at Kofa, I was a basketball coach out at Gila Ridge. And this person was a basketball coach at Kofa. And we were a little bit of arch enemies as far as when we first started. For 7 years, we went toe-to-toe against each other. And an amazing coach because, and I might be biased when I say this, I always felt like we had probably a more talented team. But I could never take a night off against the Kings because Coach Frazine was there. Then I came over on the Kofa side for administration, got to work with him as a teacher, and the preparation he does in the classroom is just amazing. He's an incredible teacher, and so I'm just excited for him to join our admin team. And so without further ado, I'm going to introduce Jeff Frazine.
Thanks, Mr. Daly. I'm Jeff Frazine. This is my 22nd year in education. Started at Kofa in 2014 as a coach and came over as a teacher a few years later. And I'm just excited to be able to serve the Kofa families at the same campus that I've been at since I joined the district, and just excited to be able to equip our teachers and coaches with the skills and knowledge that they need to be able to prepare our students for life after high school. Thanks.
Welcome.
So it's nice that Principal Daly refers to everyone that he coached against as an arch rival. I would appreciate you using that same term with me. I think we coached against each other once, and we lost by 47. But that's okay. I'm an arch rival now, so I'll take that to heart. Next up, we have Cibola High School. Yes, we can clap.
We're getting a little history lesson of the district at the same time. We're getting a little history lesson about who starts and which school was built when.
History's always important.
Yes, as a former history teacher, I concur.
There you go.
Brett Pavey, happy to be back for year 3 as principal. I lost count of how many at Cibola, but real excited to be there. We have the same administrative team in place for the last 3 years. So Mr. Dave Robinson, still in athletics, Itzel Rodriguez in academics, Gina Kugel-Brandt with activities and student services, and Lauren Simpson as our director of student support. So same great team, great campus, excited for the year. So thank you guys, and look forward to seeing you whenever you come around.
Thanks, Brett.
Up next, Vista High School.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you. I'm back, my 7th year as a principal, but now at Vista. I got the purple on. Vista Pride, we're running with the pack. I've also recently learned how to howl. Our staff howls, and it's been a great start to the year. Great camaraderie.
We need to hear that.
Afterwards, I'd be happy to do that. I don't think I want that documented on YouTube necessarily. With that being said, I'm excited to introduce Nate Juergens, our Director of Student Supports.
Nice.
All right, guys, I'm Nate Juergens. I'm definitely invested in the school district. My wife works at Gila Ridge. I've worked in this district for about 20 years, 27 years in education. I've been working long enough to know or work with or for most of the people here. And now they're on the board and I'm still in schools, but okay, whatever, right? My kids, I have 5 kids. One already graduated from Gila Ridge, one's going to Gila Ridge. I got 3 more coming to our district, so I really believe in it. I definitely believe in this district, and I'm glad to work at this school. After all these years, ooh, a little Easter egg. I've taught at least 2 of your relatives. I'll let you guys figure out who it is, but it's an Easter egg for you guys to find out. I believe in this in Vista and strategies, which because of just a smaller environment. After 27 years, I want to do something different, get out of the classroom and see if I can make an impact a different way, and maybe lead some of these teachers to help them out with actual experience in the classroom and show them kind of how to do it, as opposed to just reading a book and trying to teach them how to do that. So that's my goal this year, is to help everybody on campus, students, teachers, and helping Mr. Fritz everything he needs to do. I'm kind of his right-hand man. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. Welcome.
Nate came on board about midway through first semester, maybe a bit last year, but I thought it was appropriate for him to introduce himself to the board. And you sense a theme that people new to the campuses or new to the team, they do have pride. They enjoy working with the kids. They enjoy working with the staff. So that's one of the things that we're so proud of, is the energy level that they bring to work every day. Up next, we have San Luis High School.
Good afternoon. I'm Leticia Anaya, the proud principal at San Luis High School. I am very excited tonight that we do not have any changes on our team. So go Sidewinders, and these are the wonderful and very talented individuals who work at our school and make our school great every single day. Hans Gaston, DAS, Janet Guerra, another DAS, Delia Castro, overseeing academics, Rocio Ruiz, activities, and Roxanne Cordell for athletics. So give them a big round of applause. They are returning.
Thank you, Ms. Anaya. Up next, Gila Ridge High School. And Principal Hoover, thank you so much, because I almost went straight to Somerton, so I'm so glad you jumped up. I didn't want to pull a Pavey.
Will not be overlooked. Good evening. Proud Principal Kathy Hoover, Principal at Gila Ridge High School, and my administrative team has one change. We brought on a new Director of Student Supports, Miss Victoria Dorian. She'll introduce herself here in a minute. Mr. Beck is our Assistant Principal over Academics and Special Education. Johanna Elliott is our Assistant Principal over Health and Safety and Athletics. Miss Tipton Pavey is the Assistant Principal over Activities, and she's also our 504 Coordinator. So really great team, really excited to have the majority of them back. and we're ready to rock and roll this year. So let Vicki introduce herself.
Hi, good evening. I'm Vicki Dorian, new Director of Student Support over at Gila Ridge. I don't think I would be in this position for over 30 years if I've never had the opportunity to grow and learn. And so this will be my 8th position in 30 years, and every one's been better than the last one. I always thought this is great. I'm always going to teach 3rd grade forever. Then something better came along. And so I'm very appreciative to the team. I'm very appreciative to HR for asking me to go help out in that position last year. And I thought, wow, I miss being around kids. I miss all the activity. I miss going to sleep, going home exhausted at night. So it's been a blessing, and I'm very, very thrilled with the new position. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Vicki. It's good to see you again because I used to see her every day, and now once every now and then. But yeah, thank you for being at Gila Ridge. You know, I'll be there Friday. I'll be there Friday. I will. All right, Somerton High School. We can clap.
President Kravitz, board member, Superintendent Brienza, associate superintendents. My name is Lucky Arvizo, principal at Somerton High School, home of the Toros. And like you said, President Kravitz, we're super excited about having a senior class, meaning that we'll have our first graduation ceremony. So everybody is invited to the graduation ceremony if they would like to come. But with that said, we have a great administration, hardworking, dynamic. And this year, Mr. Barrios will be moving from athletics to academics. Heather Madrigal will continue to do activities and special education. Mr. Jankowski will continue to be our director of student support. And we have a new assistant principal who will be in charge of athletics, Haley Johnson, who has already done an amazing job in the short period that she has been there. So I'm going to let Ms. Johnson say a few words.
Hi, I'm Haley Johnson, the new assistant principal overseeing athletics at Somerton High School. Athletics has always been a part of my life, starting as an athlete and then as a coach. I started coaching about 11 years ago at Yuma Lutheran School, football and soccer. And then when I moved over to this district, I started coaching soccer. And then I became the assistant athletic director. And I was in that position for 5 years before transferring over to Somerton High School. I'm really excited to help build programs that the Toros can be proud of, proud to represent Somerton High School. So I'm grateful and thank you for this opportunity.
Welcome.
Thank you very much, administration. I do appreciate you all being here tonight. Just because I know life is busy. Feel free to leave whenever you like after this next one, because I think it's great that we all are in the room for a special recognition being given out to our CTE department. And I believe we have Deborah from the Arizona Career and Technical Education Curriculum Consortium here to recognize our CTE department.
Good evening, President Kravitz, members of the Governing Board, and Superintendent Brienza. Thank you for allowing me a few moments to recognize Yuma Union High School District. On behalf of the 140 districts statewide that comprise Arizona Career and Technical Education Curriculum Consortium, it is my privilege as Assistant Director to present Yuma Union High School District with the 25-26 Member of Distinction Certificate. Yuma Union is one of only 17 districts across Arizona to receive this inaugural award out of 140. This recognition represents far more than membership in the consortium. It reflects a sustained commitment to the high-quality career and technical education through educator engagement, professional learning, curriculum development, and statewide collaboration. Because the recognition criteria acknowledge contributions to the district, leadership, and teacher levels, this is truly a team accomplishment. I would especially like to recognize CTE Director Lori Honeycutt, as well as the many CTE educators across Yuma Union who generously share their time and expertise. Their contributions strengthen CTE programs and student outcomes, not only here in Yuma Union, but support teachers and students throughout Arizona. Congratulations again on this well-deserved recognition. Thank you for your continued partnership and commitment to providing exceptional career and technical education opportunities to your students.
All right. Yeah, you want to give it to the President, Kravitz? Thank you. I think that'd be appropriate. We are going to get a picture. Can we maybe do it in the front? We're going to stage this. We're going to do it in the front. Thank you very much. All right, Madam President, that concludes my report.
That's a great report. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, something just happened. Something happened. Sorry, everybody. We are moving into item 3, budget. Miss Brenda. What did I hit? Thank you.
Good evening. Brenda Higuera, Director of Finance. I'm here. I have one right after the other. So I'm here right now to do the monthly update for our budget. You should have that in front of you. This is for expenditures in July. So this is for our new year budget at 26-27. So on page 1 is our maintenance and operations budget there. You'll see lots of zeros right now because there's not a lot of expenses going on, but I do want to point out that our insurance and bonding under the fixed expenditures, you'll see that it's at already 100% spent. The reason for that is because we pay our premiums up front. So we've already paid that, and then throughout the year through payroll, we recover some of that back. So essentially we pay ourselves back. So that's one that you'll see as the year goes on, that the percentage will go below the 100. And then there's also the school budgets there. And then on the second page is a continuation of our M&O budget for by department. And so our budgeted amount there is $102,730,830, and spent so far $3,808,324, so about 4%. And then the next page is our capital. So you'll see there also not a lot of spending in July. Our budgeted amount for our capital fund is $13,924,346, and spent so far is $612,039, so about 4% also. The last page is our monthly student activities report. At the top, you'll see the ending cash balance. That's for the district as a whole, the $729,280.85. And then on the bottom is where you'll see our year-to-date revenues and expenditures, which you'll see the balance there is $5,542.09. So no expenditures yet because school hadn't started in July, so you'll see that as the year goes on. Any questions on the budget?
Does anybody have a question? I have one question that I'm hoping you can address. There's been a lot of talk about, with people in the public, about the cost of our utilities. Can you speak on the fact that we use air conditioning year-round and that it doesn't fluctuate monthly or anything like that?
So our utilities, we put that under our fixed expenditures. We do budget for whatever if we see like an increase throughout the year, but it stays pretty consistent throughout, like just throughout the year. We don't see it fluctuating too much. Our usage stays pretty consistent.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have a question? Brenda, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we're going to move on to item 3.2, the Safety Committee Annual Report. Ms. Lilly.
I'm going to turn it over to Brenda and Bo
Brenda.
Gonzalez.
In this one, I actually have Henry Gonzalez, our Director of Safety and Health. And this one, we actually do something fun, which I think the campuses are looking forward to it. And we as a district have a district safety committee, and our campuses also have their own safety committees. And so what we do as a district is we have some funding that we award the campuses so they can earn up to $10,000, and they have to meet certain requirements. They do, if they have quarterly meetings, they can earn up to $2,000. They do site inspections. If they do 2 site inspections, they can earn up to $1,000. If they don't have any accidents on workers' comp, it's about $300 a month, so they can earn up to $3,600. And then if they didn't have accidents all year round, $1,400. And then we look at all the campuses, and the best overall, then we award them another $2,000. So they have the opportunity to earn up to $10,000. So I'll call out the names because we're here to award. We have the big checks over here. And then I believe every campus has a representative here that'll come up and get their check.
And Director Higuera, just so the board knows, once all the checks have been presented, we'll have all the board members come to the front, and we'll do a photo op.
Okay.
I also did want to mention that the funding for this is out of our insurance proceeds fund. So first up is COFA with $5,400. So he said the pictures at the end, right? Okay. Next up is Somerton with also $5,400. And then we have San Luis with $5,500. And then Yuma High School with $5,700. And then Cibola with $6,000. And Hiller Ridge, also $6,000. And then Vista, which also is comprised of our district office and the warehouse, with $8,300. And that concludes my report, unless there's any questions.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe everybody can come out here with their big checks.
So Leslie or Eric, maybe you guys can coordinate that. I don't know how this is going to work, so. But it might be best the board members go to the front, because that way they don't stand in front of you. So you can be in the picture too.
You don't get to keep the checks, okay? I need them back.
congratulations, campuses. Have fun spending that money. Moving on to item 3.3, YUHSD dropout prevention. Lily?
Yes, I'm going to be introducing Teresa Lauren, our new Director of Special Services. She will be introducing our dropout prevention specialists from every campus.
Thank you.
So good evening, Governing Board President Kravitz, Governing Board members, Superintendent Brianza, Associate Superintendents, and members of our community. My name is Teresa Lauren, and I am the new Director of Student Services. So today, I am going to be introducing the dropout prevention specialists from each school. So from Cibola, we have Yesenia Cumming, Gila Ridge High School, Beatrice Felice. You guys can come up. Cofa High School, Edgardo Gonzalez. San Luis High School, Rigoberto Conde. Somerton High School, Christopher Reese. Vista High School, Arispe Garcia. Yuma High School, Annette Solorzano. Presenting today will be Rigo Conde and Yesenia Cumming on attendance.
Good evening, board members and Mr. Brianza. We will be presenting on the dropout rates for the 2025-2026 school year. I'm excited to share that some of the progress that we've been doing here across Yuma Union High School District to keep students in school and on track to graduate. You can see all of our individual schools' dropout rates on the screen, as well as for the state of Arizona, the dropout rate was 4.14%, while Yuma Union was only 1.01%. I would like to highlight that we have outperformed the state of Arizona since the year 2012. On the left, you can see the graph for a 5-year trend where Yuma Union High School District's rate went from 2.85 in the 21-22 school year to 1.01 this last school year, which is a big decrease compared to Arizona, which stayed above 4% for the entire span of the 5 years. Would you like to add anything?
Definitely, every year we get challenged with different tasks to do at our home schools, and dropout has always been number one in our job performance. This past year, if you notice, well, just to give a shout out to Gila Ridge, they're 0.49%, I think, and we looked at our records, and I think that's the highest they've gone since we started recording in 2012. So Gila Ridge did an amazing job, and I think every year we do our best. Our competition continues to have the lowest every year. And this year we're tasked also to be part of a committee here for the district to not only look at dropout rate, but also look at attendance. So the students are showing up, but not dropping out, but also having a lot of absences. So we're tasking and we're coming together with different departments to work on that new goal, I guess, not to just prevent students from dropping out, but also to get them to school and get them to stay in school as well. If you guys have any questions, please.
Does anybody have any questions?
If I could, I don't have a question, I just want a statement. I just want to say the dropout prevention, they demonstrate in every student, because a lot of times that one student, they need that dropout prevention specialist to show up at the house and say, why haven't you been coming? So that's just one example. So I just want to highlight that those individuals, they are the ones that are going home, sometimes with a security guard or another teacher, and making sure that child knows that someone cares about them and wants them in school. So I think we need to give them a round of applause. So thank you, guys.
I have one question, since you mentioned the little competition that you have amongst your schools. So maybe it's not a question as much as a gauntlet that we'll throw to you. So next year when you come back up, everybody should be at that number, right?
That
would
the
be
goal,
amazing.
definitely. I think every year we have different challenges, and I think, well, I've been here 7 years, and the percentage is always fluctuating, but I think there's a lot of different reasons every single year. So this past year, students getting suspended, so the issues have been different. I think we tackle some issues, but then we get other issues in. So hopefully working with other different teams and departments and the DOSs that we have in school, we're tackling tardies, we're tackling absences, so this might give us a different percentage next year, for sure.
We love the job you do. Thank you so much for the work.
you.
All right, moving on to informational item 3.4, our first read of policy. It was in our books. The information was redlined, that was getting crossed out, and the verbiage that's new is in blue. Does anybody have any questions? No. Great. Let us move on to informational item 3.5. Facilities Department overview. I believe that is to Derek.
Yes, this has been a little bit of a hot topic. I had to say that.
That was just bad. That was just bad. You could
but it's cooled down since. So we wanted to bring some big hitters up here today to not just talk about some of the issues that we've had with HVAC that are not always just summer issues. Our air conditioning is on all the time. But to give some context to the financial aspect that goes into what we're dealing with, what we have been dealing with, and then also speak to the teaching and learning. What happens when we have issues on campus, and how do students continue learning, and how is that communicated to families? So we have Mr. Swenson, Mr. Brown, Mr. Semler, and Mr. Patton that are going to give you guys an overview of all of those items.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Trevor Swenson. I'm the Executive Director of Facilities. And like Mr. Bosch said, I just want to give you a brief overview of some things going on in the Facilities Department, and specifically focus on HVAC. So our district maintains a lot of square footage, and along with that comes a lot of equipment. So we've got 11 different water-cooled chillers. We've got cooling towers. We've got hundreds of package units, fan coils, evaporative coolers that all work together to get things done. I'm going to move on to the next slide. So preventative maintenance is a critical part of what we do in the district. This is important to keep equipment operating reliably and to extend the useful life. So our PM program ensures that we are compliant with Arizona State statute. So it's a state statute that we have a PM program in place. And our program does comply with that law. The building renewal grant, so that is money available to districts who are in compliance with different requirements from the School Facilities Division. And that is a part of being eligible for BRG grants, is to have your PM program current and compliant. Depending on the type of the PM task, these are performed at different intervals throughout the year. So some are annual, some are quarterly, some are semi-annual. It just depends on the task. The next bullet point speaks to minimum adequacy guidelines. So what those are certain standards that the School Facilities Division has put in place that we must comply with. So for example, with HVAC, we are required to keep classroom temperatures between 68 and 82 degrees. If we're not able to maintain that, then that is called a MAG deficiency, and then we are eligible for BRG funding if we can't meet that. This slide has a lot on it, so I'm not going to read it, but there's just a timeline of some of the repairs that we've done over the last 12 months or so. HVAC doesn't just fail in the summer. It doesn't just fail in August and September. This is a year-long, monthly thing that we're constantly dealing with. When you have that much equipment and it's constantly getting used, there's just everything mechanical will eventually have a failure point, and so we deal with that on a sometimes daily basis, if I'm honest. So yeah, the next slide speaks to finance, so I'll let Mr. Brown talk about that.
Okay, there we go. Finance. All right, and money being the crux, and for the record, Neil Brown, Chief Financial Officer. So with anything, if you don't have the money to do it, it doesn't happen. So what I have up there is two kind of pockets of money. The blue is kind of what's at the district's discretion, things that we can control more. The yellow is what we're speaking to, which is the school facilities division. And they are the funding mechanism, the division of the state that would help us with large building repairs, HVAC, roofing, those kinds of things. So in the operational bucket, I know Brenda goes through it quickly, trying to save us, but it's our capital budget is just shy of 14 million, which sounds like a lot, but we are asking that 14 million to do a lot. Our capital that we're allocated from the state has to cover things from software, furniture, printers, educational supplies, all of that. That's what we're trying to ask it to do. So when we get that money, it's not just going to HVAC, it's not just going to Trevor's department, it's got to go to a lot of places. So with that, as a reminder, the state does not have a mandatory increase on our capital. So our M&O will increase 2%. Our capital has stayed the same for a long time, just divvied out by our ADM. And so when we come across, when we get a big problem, sometimes these problems with HVAC or roofing can be multi-million-dollar problems. So when you see you have 14 million, it can go quickly. I have up there, that's our operational spending. That's where we're putting things into repairs and things what we can do. The other thing we have at our disposal are bonds and overrides. Now, obviously, those are voter-approved initiatives. They have to pass. They do affect the tax rate, and those aren't something that we can just do in an emergency. That's going to be a long-term plan to fix deficiencies that we see coming up. But again, they're not viable. So the state has given us the SFD to fill in those gaps and to have funding available for when we have those big emergencies and things like that. You can see up there that they are maxed out at an allocation by the state. Currently, it's just shy of 200 million that the state allocates to this program. Specifically, I'm speaking of the BRGs, which Trevor spoke to, which is that building renewal grant. That money is associated for improving those deficiencies. Currently, I have it up there. As of January 2026, it was reported that they have a funding gap of 216 million, so more than double what they're actually funded each year. So obviously it's created lines, backups. They have to categorize by emergencies and things. And so even sometimes we're telling them, hey, we have these problems, but we're in a line with a bunch of other districts, and it's when is it going to break sometimes. So the key thing with them that comes from SFD is they cannot guarantee the timing of an award nor the funding. Like I said, we do our part. Trevor does his part to document what we have going on. As we show emergencies are coming, then we can be pushed up the list. But it's a constant wait to see if we can get that money to help us out. And then, as Trevor had mentioned, we continue to apply for those MAG deficiencies. But the key thing here is we are waiting on a division that sometimes doesn't have it available for us. So while those problems, like Trevor mentioned, happen all year, the funding that we get, sometimes we just have to wait and see when we get our name on that list to get the help that we need.
Good evening, Corey Semler, Executive Director of Teaching and Learning. And so as Trevor and Neil's departments collaborate to get the facilities up and running and the purchasing and the funding for those repairs, my team springs into action to serve the students. The learning has to continue, right? And so as that's taking place, we get brought into the loop very quickly and oftentimes very proactively, which is nice. So as these issues arise, we gather I gather my department, we start collaborating with the campus to say, okay, what's the learning going to look like for these students? As Trevor had mentioned, if the temperatures aren't doable, we have something called the instructional time model, so ITM. We use this throughout the school calendar on our non-student days and things like that, but we also have it for moments like this, whenever an emergency arises. So when ITM's activated, what that means is we have made the decision that students will be taking place in remote learning or learning from home via Canvas, our learning management system. So a handful of years ago, that would have really raised the alarm in teaching and learning, but now our teachers are so fluent and polished in creating the digital classroom for our students, what we call Canvas, that our students are more comfortable with it, our teachers, our leadership. And so, like I mentioned, our teachers are just super polished and fluent in this. How we prepare for the success of this, in addition to all the preemptive meetings and things like that, technology, attendance, you name it, we all come together to make sure proper protocols are shared with our campuses. So the attendance clerks are on the lookout for the student responses coming in throughout the day. The messaging to our students and families with the requirements of taking that attendance are very clear. And again, this is something we do multiple times throughout the school year. So our campuses and staff, our families, they're all familiar with how this learning will look.
And I am Eric Patton, Chief Communications Officer. So the next step after the teaching and learning team has initiated ITM, or at least discussed potentially going to that, is the communications team will start the informational gathering process. So we're going to look at timelines, if there's a certain time for an early release, or if we're not going to school the following day. We'll start looking at that information. We have some templated messaging that's already in place, so we could activate that really quickly. But either way, we're going to kind of follow that same pattern of working with the campus as well as the district team, with Trevor, with the associate superintendent that's kind of overseeing the issue, as well as Mr. Brienza, to generate all of the messaging. And we're very precise about how we message both internally and externally. So the messaging gets created for various platforms, and as you can see, there's essentially 6 different places that messaging can be found. The worst thing that I could hear is that someone didn't know that especially a school was closed for the day, or that we were going to remote learning. Our priority number 1 is making sure that the staff at that school site is aware of what's going on. So that's our first priority. We would hate for that information to be on Jennifer Blackwell's Facebook page or in the media at large before our staff even knew what was going on. So that's something that we prioritize, is making sure our staff at least has a 10 or 15 minute heads up that this is happening before it gets made public. Secondly, we make sure that anybody who answers the phone, like at the district office or that campus, would be aware of what's going on, because we know the messaging is imminent, and they would be able to answer those questions comfortably. And we put together things like an FAQ, for example, in COFA's situation, because there were a lot of questions, so that those people have the answers and we're all on the same page. Parents are next. So the communication almost immediately, or within several minutes after staff is made aware, we put together that Parent Square message that's going to go out in an email, text, through the Parent Square mobile app. And then in an emergency situation, we would also have the ability to make a phone call, an automated phone call to parents. And that's coming to them in the language of their preference. And we definitely go through and edit English and Spanish versions to make sure that they make sense for our families, but then they're available in several other languages as well, depending on what they've chosen or remarked in our student information system. Next comes the public rollout. So after parents find out, we usually wait 5 to 10 minutes to make sure that we alert local media directly. So I've got a list, and Leslie, who's also in my department, has a list of the key local media members that we would reach out to. And then finally, we put it on social media, and then we usually will put it on the website for that school. Honestly, if you haven't heard about it after we got through number 1 through 5 on that list, I'm not so sure you're going to worry about going to the website to see it. But again, we just want to make sure that everybody is aware of what's going on. So it'll be a website pop-up that lives there for that day as well. So the last thing we have for you, and this is open not just to me, but for any of the 4 of us, do you guys have
Does
any
anybody
questions?
have any questions other than me?
I do.
Ladies first. Carlos? Shelley. We're going to start this way.
Okay, here we go. Okay. How do you adjust for like nutritional services when you do the remote learning?
So that's part of that initial informational gathering, and we typically have student nutrition and transportation. Those are 2 very key departments outside of facilities and teaching and learning that are involved in that conversation. So one of the first things we might ask if we're going to go into, like, say, early release on a day when the air conditioning has gone out in the middle of the school day, we're going to contact Mr. Sheepers at the transportation department, and we're going to ask him, how soon can you get buses to that school? And then he's going to communicate how that would look for them, and then we're going to adjust accordingly. And the same thing goes for Ms. Hildreth with student nutrition. We'll make arrangements to, she's so great about making sure that we get meals to the students who need it. Even, for example, when Cibola unfortunately had to miss the first day of school, we had some students who had already arrived on campus. She had breakfast out there already for them. And we try to include that in the messaging as well to let families know that your student received lunch or breakfast was available before they left campus today or whatnot. So all of those stakeholders within the district are an important part of that conversation. And then when we say we're gathering information, or Corey mentioned that as well, they're definitely a key part of that.
Right, but we have some students who really depend on food that comes from our district, and we don't have them come to school because the HVAC broke or whatever the reason is. Do we have a way to help those students out on those days?
Unfortunately, there are certain times of year, like summer programming, where the summer meals are allowed by the state or by the federal government. But overall, like during the school day, we are not allowed to initiate like a drive-through meal service system.
Okay.
In that situation where there was. I think that if there were an extended time period in which school was out, if we're talking weeks, that might be a different conversation. But for the most part, on those single days or a couple of days, that's not something that we can unfortunately do.
Thank you. Shelley, anything else?
I just want to give kudos to you guys for your work,
Thank you.
top notch, and you take care of problems quick as possible, and so I appreciate that.
Looking at the four of you, it's very easy to say, thank you, Eric, for handling the public and the outcry that happens, and thank you, Trevor, for keeping the facilities, and thank you, Neil, for getting everybody paid, and thank you, Corey, for helping all of our students learn. I have a question about how we get the repairs paid for. So I know that there's a shortfall, and I understand that school facilities is the wizard, and they get to decide where all the money goes. But it seems to me, at least, from my perspective, what I get to see, that you guys do a great job of capturing that. Do we have to outlay the money first and then they pay us back?
Great question. So the grant is the key aspect there. So yes, just like any of our other grants, there has to be an authorization first. So Trevor works on that. He knows that whole world. But in my world, we wait till we get the permissions to move forward. Once we get the permissions from them, they're saying go forward. It's in steps. I know with HVAC, I'm learning so much with Trevor too. There'll be a design phase where you're getting all the engineer, whoever together, and then once that's cleared, you'll start a phase of getting the vendor. A key thing here is if the district were to allocate resources before the approval, we're out. And they've told us that many times. So unfortunately, we can't start fixing a problem and then they'll come in and say, we'll help you out. Once you start fixing the problem, it's entirely your problem. And so with the money, what happens is we get it all fully approved. We can then go pay the vendor. We have a fund specifically for BRG. We'll code it there. And then we'll know we'll get the money. So we'll put all the expenditures there, and then we watch that until we get the money back from the state.
So we put out and then we get it back.
Correct.
Okay, this is going to be a weird question, but you buy a home that's a couple of years old, you get like a home warranty. Is there anything like that we can have for our schools? Like where maybe nobody has to pay for the air conditioning except the warranty company?
We do utilize warranties when those are in place. Then you have to look at the factors of if you're going to renew or not, or what monetarily makes sense and those kinds of things. So I know with like Somerton, we've had projects where they were under warranty. It's a new school, so we go through warranty to get that done.
Right.
Many things that show up on these kind of grants, you're well past warranty at that point. You're not going to be able to get a warranty on it. You're dealing with, and we do. Trevor does a great job keeping us going, keeping machines going. But sometimes it's just going for a long time, and eventually you're going to need to just do a full replacement.
Thank you. Christy.
You guys have asked all the questions I have.
All right, David.
Just a quick question here, and I used to do refrigeration, so I know a little bit what's happening here. But my question is, if we go back to the summer of 2026, a boiler condenser pump repair, if a pump goes out, that's a pretty common piece of equipment. Do we have any backup parts? Do we have any refurbished motors? Do we have anything in standby? If something happens, we can slip it in while we get a new one or a full repair?
Yeah, we do have spares and secondary pumps in certain schools and locations, but unfortunately that pump, we didn't have a backup available.
But you do now, or not yet?
Not yet. We have the original back in place. We're working on a backup.
Okay, but on most of them, you do have some backup equipment?
Yeah, we like to have redundancy on many of these systems. So a lot of these schools have multiple chillers, and most of the months of the year we're able to operate on one chiller. So we'll run one and then alternate back and forth to kind of even out the hours that each machine is running. But yeah, we do try and have redundancy whenever we can.
And by any chance, is any of the equipment in all the schools similar? That way, if you can stock on one set of parts and you don't have different brands, different models where that way you can have some backup units or equipment that you can interchange?
Yes, we do try and stick with certain brands that we have a good relationship with the vendor or that they provide a good warranty. And that way, if we do have an issue where we need a part or something, then sometimes we might have a spare somewhere else that we could use.
If I might add a question about the redundancy and things like that, a lot of times with the state, and this is actually something we're going through right now, we have 2 chillers. We have one that's not working. And as we're saying, hey, we need help with the one that's not working. Yeah, but it's not emergency because you still have one that's working. So if the one that is working goes down because of a pump, we don't have the redundancy to go to the second chiller because that one's already down. So the state, one of the things is like, well, you have a chiller that's working, so we're not going to be replacing the other one yet. So eventually you get to the point where you have 2 that go down. Now it's an emergency. So that's one thing that we faced recently is the fact that, yes, it's nice having 2, but as long as you have one working, it's not emergency for the state yet. We're doing all the paperwork and all the repairs so that when it does happen, that then they can hopefully pull a trigger. But that's one thing with redundancy. The state will say, as long as you have one that's working, it's not emergency for us yet.
All right. Well, I'm not talking full units because that can be pretty expensive, but parts, extra parts, just to get you through, an emergency. That way, you're buying time with just fans, motors, pumps. Do you stock enough as a backup? Just motors and pumps, and
we don't have like a warehouse per se of just parts on the shelf, but we do have a lot of the smaller parts on hand. We've got multiples of those, contactors, belts, pulleys, motors, that are smaller, but like a large pump like Cebola's that went out on the first day of school, it would be hard to stock like a duplicate of those all over.
Because of the size?
Because of the size and the cost.
Got it. Okay.
I have one last question. I think it's for Neil. Yuma is a special district. We know this from all of the great things that we just saw, but we're also special in that we're geographically isolated. So is there a geographical, like a traveling expense that, let's say, Carrier or one of our vendors assigns to us to come and fix our stuff, and then is that also covered by the SFB?
I can answer the second part for sure. If there are any costs, once it's approved, that will all be covered.
Okay.
I would guess, yes, Trevor, that they would have travel costs for us?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, so there would be, I would assume too. Based on where the vendor is located, they may charge you a traveling fee. But yes, if that were approved, they'll cover all the costs associated with making that.
So it's like if the part is approved to be fixed, then all the costs.
All the costs.
Okay.
For example, we've checked this with them. It would require for us with some of our situations, we may need like a portable chiller or something like that. Until that goes through, the cost is on us. But once they've approved the project and said we're moving forward with construction or whatever it is, at that point they'll take on any cost to keep a portable chiller, anything to keep us going while we're under construction.
But the beginning cost of that portable chiller is on us.
Correct. So until that is approved, any cost before that's on the district.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Of course.
And I know you guys are doing a good job.
Yeah,
so
you are doing
I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm just trying to give you some ideas.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Keeping our students safe, engaged, and cool. Yes, exactly. Okay, thank you so much, gentlemen. Moving on to item number 4, call to the public. Any person wishing to speak may present the information at this time only. All presentations are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes, and a maximum of 15 minutes on each subject. Before you begin to speak, identify yourself by clearly stating for the record your name. Comments by members of the governing board in response to any public comment will be limited to asking staff to review the matter or requesting rescheduling of the matter for future consideration at a later date. I don't have any forms. Is there anybody here that would like to address the board? Okay, thank you. Moving on to agenda item number 5, consent items. Adoption of items of routine nature and those that normally do not require deliberations on the part of the governing board. Board member may pull items which will be discussed and voted on separately. We have nothing to pull. Is there a motion? Thank you. Turn on your mic.
Second.
Thank you. Motion made by Christie, seconded by Carlos. Any comments? Let's proceed to vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. What item am I on? 6.1, consideration to accept donations. I shall read them. To Cibola High School, the 4th Avenue Gym Foundation donated a volleyball net system to the Cibola High School volleyball team. The value of this donation is $9,544.38. To 4th Avenue Gym Foundation donated wrestling singlets to the Cibola High School Athletics Wrestling Program. The estimated value of this donation is $3,500. Raiders Cross Country Booster Club donated $3,000 to the Cibola High School cross country team to use as needed. Linda Willits donated 10 packages of photography paper to the Cibola High School digital photography class. The estimated cost of this donation is $200. Raiders Spirit Line Booster Club donated 30 sets of cheer uniforms to the Cibola High School varsity cheer team. The estimated value of this donation is $8,500. To Gila Ridge High School, Chick-fil-A donated 70 chicken sandwiches to the Gila Ridge High School Military Connected Hawks Club for their after-school gathering. The estimated cost of this donation is $400. Rebecca Ross donated 2 basketball jerseys and 2 shorts to the Gila Ridge High School Athletic Department. The value of this donation is $256.84. AZ Strutt donated Pasco Science probes to the Gila Ridge High School Science Department to use in their physics classes. The estimated value of this donation is $4,463. Junior Golf Association of Arizona donated golf equipment, golf clubs, umbrellas, and duffel bags to the Gila Ridge High School girls golf team. The estimated value of this donation is $1,500. Arizona Diamondbacks donated $5,000 to the Gila Ridge High School outdoor leadership classes to purchase classroom supplies and equipment as needed. Tacoma High School, Uncommon Kings Football Booster Club donated 10 Speed Flex football helmets to the Cova High School football program. The value of this donation is $4,601.55. To Somerton High School, Soma Yuma Football Booster donated a water hydration system with 6 water stations to the Somerton High School football program. The estimated value of this donation is $800. To Yuma High School, Kate Jakshewski, I'm sorry if I butchered that, donated 32 books to the Yuma High School Library. The value of this donation is $718.96. To the Yuma Union High School District Number 70, Albertsons Companies Foundation donated $14,000 to the Yuma Union High School District to support district programs and student needs. The donation will be distributed equally among the district's 7 campuses with $2,000 allocated to each campus for use where it is needed most. Aloe Fiber donated a $350 Sam's Club gift card to the Yuma Union High School District ESS departments to purchase the desserts for the Community Transition Fair on October 21st, 2026. Chapman Chevrolet GMC donated $200 to the Yuma Union High School District ESS department to purchase decorations for the Community Transition Fair on October 21st, 2026. Yuma Sweet Snaps donated the use of the photo booth and their services to the Yuma Union High School District ESS department to use during the Community Transition Fair on October 21st, 2026. The estimated value of this donation is $300. The Yuma Police Department donated 100 backpacks filled with school supplies to the Yuma Union High School District Health and Safety Department for distribution by social workers at all 7 campuses to students in need. The estimated value of this donation is $2,500. The total donations this month are $59,834.73, and the total year-to-date donations are $116,905.71. Amazing. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to accept the above listed donations.
Second.
Thank you. Motion made by Carlos, seconded by Shelley. Any comments? Then yes, thank you. Let's proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Item 6.2, consideration to approve proposed classroom site fund, Prop 301, performance-based compensation plan for the 2026-2027 year. Bobby, if you would, come to the hot seat. The plan was attached. We all got a chance to look at it. Does anybody have any questions for Bobby now that he's up at the hot seat? Somebody has to question Bobby.
Do we, motion first?
Before we ask.
For the questions?
We
We need a motion in a second before we have
Okay,
discussion.
fine.
Sorry.
That's fine.
I moved to approve the Union High School District Classroom Site Fund, Prop 301 Performance-Based Compensation Plan is submitted for the 26-27 school year.
I second.
Motion made by Shelley, seconded by Christy. Now, does anybody have any questions?
I'll wait for his report. I'm just kidding.
This was voted on by the staff.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That's correct.
That's all I had. Anybody else have a question? Then let's proceed to vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Stay there. Moving on to item 6.3, approval of the employee compensation packet for 26-27. Is there a motion?
I move that the governing board approve the revised employee compensation packet for the 26-27 school year.
Second.
Thank you. Motion made by Christy, seconded by Shelley. Any comments? Questions? I guess you're doing your job pretty well because nobody has any questions.
Just make sure you tell that man over there to.
Well, then let's proceed to vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item 6.4, consideration to appoint new board trustee to the Employee Benefit Trust Board. Lily, is there anything? Nope. I need a motion.
I move to appoint Gino Olivas to the Union High School District Employee Benefit Trust Board of Trustees.
I second.
Thank you. Thanks for keeping me on it. Motion made by Shelley, seconded by Christy. Any comments for Lily? No. Then let's proceed to vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Action item 6.1, approving intergovernmental agreement. Is there a motion?
6.5.
6. Oh my gosh. Action item 6.5. Is there a motion?
I recommend that the governing board approve the intergovernmental agreement between Yuma Union High School District and the city of Somerton for facility usage.
Second.
Motion made by Carlos, seconded by Shelley. Any comments?
I do.
Yes, sir.
Tim, can you explain to us the changes that were made on this agreement from the previous one?
Yes, I can. I was going to have Rob do it, but I can do it. We did take a component of alcohol out on the previous agreement. If the city had a rental or an agreement to use it with us, we had a component about alcohol being allowed on school site, which is counterproductive, or counterintuitive to a school district. So we took that out, and we added the track on the district side that could be used through the city, and also the city added, I believe, Paracone Park. So I think those are the only changes. Is that correct, Rob? Yeah, that were made to it for this one.
So the Pericone to be used.
If, for example, if the high school district needed it for more soccer fields or something, we would work through the city to reserve that space for our athletes or our clubs, whoever wanted to use it.
Good. That's all I had.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Let's proceed to vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6.6, consideration to approve the IGA for facility usage between YUHSD and the City of San Luis Rec Facilities. Is there a motion?
I move that the governing board approve the IGA with the city of San Luis for facility usage.
Second.
Motion made by Christy, seconded by Shelley. Any questions? Comments? Let's proceed to vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6.7, CTE course fees. Is there a motion?
I move that the governing board approve the updated CTE course fees.
Second.
Motion made by Christy, seconded by Shelley. Any comments? I had one comment, which was it doesn't look like the prices had changed, so why are we approving this again? Derek.
Simply, if we want to charge our students to take those courses, then we have to have them board approved.
Right, but we
We do them annually.
And we
we do
actually
it
have-
every year.
We do them every year, and we actually have one or two new CT courses to be included for this year as well, at some
Thank
level
you.
too.
Okay, cool. Anybody else? Let's vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6.8, consideration to approve school facilities division prevention maintenance plan.
I move to approve the School Facilities Division Prevention Maintenance Plan as submitted.
I second.
Motion made by Shelley, seconded by Christie. Any comments? Let's proceed to vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Action item 6.9, consideration to accept the termination of certified teacher Genesis Alvarado Ruiz. I move that the governing board accept Superintendent Tim Brianza's termination of employment of Genesis Alvarado Ruiz effective August 7th, 2026, and direct the superintendent to deliver the notice of termination and statement of charges to Genesis Alvarado Ruiz.
Second.
Motion made by myself, seconded by Shelley. Are there any comments? Let's proceed to vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. I move that we table item 6.10, call for executive session. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by myself, seconded by Shelley. Any comments? Let's proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item 6.11, I move that we table item 6.11, call for executive session.
I second.
Motion made by myself, seconded by Christie. Any comments? Let's proceed to vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 7, future agenda items. Anybody?
Yes. For the next meeting, I'd like to have a discussion regarding for visitations and what do we call it? For the board member reports, it's conferences, visitations. I think we ought to look at that. I went to the NALEO conference this month, and I think we have to look at the cost for the taxpayers to send us to that type of conferences. So it's something that I would like to have on the agenda so we can talk about it.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, we can definitely get that done. Thank you, David. Item 8.1, next meetings of the board. We have a public hearing on Wednesday, September 9th, 2026 at 5 o'clock instead of 5:15 right here. And then our regular meeting is to follow at 5:15. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Motion made by Christie, seconded by Shelley. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Have a great month, everybody.